An Odessa man was part of a successful mission in World War II that stopped the Japanese from taking over more Pacific islands. If the Americans hadn't succeeded, he says, the Japanese could have bombed Hawaii again. Our Feliz Romero joins us with his emotional story.
Eddie, it's not easy for him to talk about. He got very sick while serving our country, but he's proud of what he and his team accomplished.
Our mission was to seize and stop the building by the Japanese of the field that was there, an airfield, because then if they completed that field, then they would be able to just jump off and hit Guam and Hawaii.
93-year-old Jobert Williams joined the Marine Corps when he was just 16 years old. He spent time in the Solomon Islands in the South Pacific.
The Japanese were island hopping and taking over, so we had to stop them, and that was the objective, was to stop the Japanese expansionism, because they were expanding all over the place.
They fulfilled their mission.
This is some of the officers I worked with.
But Jobert had to end his military career of 7 years because he contracted malaria.
I was discharged with a medical discharge, which was the end of my military career, but it was worth it. And I sit back and I'm very pleased that I was part of something.
Malaria is a mosquito-borne disease. About 65% of soldiers serving in the South Pacific reported having malaria at some point. In studio, Feliz Romero. Back to you.
Thank you, Feliz. The Army Heritage Center Foundation says the only silver lining to the malaria problem was that the Japanese, the enemy at the time, suffered just as much, if not more, than the Americans. Estimates suggest some Japanese units were 90% combat ineffective due to a combination of malaria and dysentery.